Good morning, people. It's traffic series. This morning I'll be talking about handling different children. I'm not an expert at parenting. In fact, my first child will just be 10 and I have 2 children. How do I handle this? Okay, no 2 children are the same. One big mistake I made was comparing my son to my daughter. My daughter likes to read. In fact, if she tells you she's bored and you give her a book, she's good. It becomes a problem to get her out of reading. My son, all you need to say to him to make him sorrowful, sad, and dejected is to tell him to go and read. I'll be very angry. Why? I invested a lot in books. Non-school books. School books are compulsory. So I invested a lot in non-school books so that my children can read well, read wide, and cool. And I'll be so angry until I realize that these 2 children are not the same. While I'm still encouraging my son to finish the 100-page book, in one day, my daughter is on page 300 and something, and she remembers everything she read. She will summarize it well for you. I devised the means. My son likes money, maybe not as much as my daughter. And on Sundays, we stay back in church for meetings, and the children are practically doing nothing. So I said to them, I'll pay you guys money if you finish reading a book. Not a book of 50 pages, minimum 100 pages. My son now reads. I don't have to ask him. Every time we are going somewhere and I know that the children will not really be engaged, e.g. to the dentist, to the optician, they just take a book along and they are engaged. My son once told us that, Mom, Dad, I won't be going to secondary school. Once I'm done here, please put me in a football academy. That's what I want to do. But I know you guys will say I have to go to school, but I'm not going to secondary school. I'll just repeat primary school again from primary 1 so that at least I'm going to school. Can you imagine that? My daughter, on the other hand, takes school seriously. Do you have children like this? How do you treat them? We treat them differently. I recall we had to educate my son that yes, it's okay to go to the football academy, but you have to go to school. And we told him the reason. When you're educated, you're a better footballer. How you deal, how you speak, how you have an advantage, you have the edge. And if it doesn't work out, you also have something to fall back on. He has agreed. You go to secondary school. We also had to talk him through the process of him having a lesson teacher while his sister does not have. And he understands the reason. I said, oh, you mix up your numbers, you mix up this sometimes. We think you're brilliant, but you need a bit of help. He agreed. We even had to agree the choice of teacher. He's happy with his teacher. We no longer remind my son to do his own work. He's so responsible. He takes it up himself. It doesn't mean he gets everything right, but we can see the drastic change. Meanwhile, my daughter does not need a lesson teacher. She's a lesson teacher by herself. Of course, we support, we help from time to time, but it's understanding this different qualities, patterns with children and treating it that way. Doesn't mean we should encourage their weaknesses. No, we should support them to ensure they improve on their weaknesses. When I get home, I will not shout when I meet my son outside playing football. It is who he is. And I meet my daughter inside molding a lot of things. My daughter can be very critical. You say something, she analyzes it. Yes, analytical. She analyzes it. Her mind is always working. My son just wants to play. He wants to rap. He wants to learn how to play the drums. We have to treat them differently to bring out the best of them. For the things that are essential. So for instance, if a child would not just greet elders at every point in time, it's not what we should encourage. No, we must continue to help him improve on that weakness by reminding him or her to greet all the time. And you may just have a natural without being told. They are always greeting. That's great. Do you have a child who is a talkative, always talking? They don't know when to keep quiet, who not to talk to. You also have to call them back sometimes. You don't have to talk every time. You must help them. And then you have one who never talks. My daughter used to be like that. She doesn't want to talk to anybody except her mother. I'm sure some people will be surprised hearing this, because now she can talk with whoever she wishes to talk to. We had to encourage her. We would also put her in places where her brother is, because that one was quite social. Not too social, but quite social. And now things that we must always help their weaknesses, help them to improve on their weaknesses, encourage their strengths, and also draw them back in the places of excesses. Know your children, know what they like, know how to balance it, and help them all the way. Not every child in that class of 30 will have the first position, but every single one of them have their unique abilities, their unique talents. Discover it and help them grow.